The big fear is that somehow we're creating, with artificial intelligence, sinister humans.
I know that most people think it's like the movies. You have this machine that knows everything. It doesn't work that way. AGI is artificial general intelligence. That's what we see in the movies, right? You can just do all these things, learn new things on its own. Nothing like that exists today. Some of the big thought leaders in the industry think that we may never even reach that point. Where we are right now is ASI, Artificial Specialized Intelligence, which basically means the AI can only do what we taught it to do. At the end of the day, AI, like all technology, it's a tool. We can use it to create or we can use it to destroy. And we want to create the mindset, the moral and ethical practices so that we're trying to help people, not hurt them. And it's a difficult thing to figure out because there's no universal standard for ethics. You think about like in China, they're using Google Glass augmented with artificial intelligence, where if you see somebody, the police officer knows your name, where you live, where you work, like where you've been the last couple of hours, right? And you might say, well, whoa, that's a little freaky, right? That's too Big Brother-ish. What about my privacy? But in China, they don't worry about that. That's going to help catch criminals. That's going to help find lost children, right? Very different ethical standards. I think our real challenge as people, as a society, is to figure out, so how do we create that baseline? And that's a difficult conversation.
In a world where there's, say, friendly AI versus unfriendly AI, what keeps you optimistic about AI?
I believe in people. I know there's some bad people out there, but that, we'll call it the 2% of bad people. We can't let that mar everything else that's going on. Self-driving cars is a good example of that. Everyone is tied up with a trolley problem, right? If we get into a situation, the self-driving car has to hit one of two people, who do you hit? But if you're a human, you have the same challenge, right? But we could say, well, we're reactive at a split second, but now we have to make a proactive decision on whose life is more important. But at the same time, we're also not looking at the bigger picture, in that there's over 300,000 auto fatalities a year in the United States, if I remember my numbers correct. Self-driving cars will reduce those types of accidents by 99.9%, right? You're going to save almost 300,000 lives, but we're focused on this problem that has like a 1 in a billion chance of happening.